Part 2 of the basics of Adobe Animate and adding color, drawing shapes, using things like your pen tool and your polystar tool. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is start adding some color, and what we're going to use is the paint bucket tool. You can also get there by clicking K on your keyboard, and the paint bucket tool is going to dump whatever color you have underneath the fill color icon here in the lower left. So if we take a fill color, and maybe I'll choose kind of like a reddish color for the rocket, one thing you may notice is there's a small gap here that goes through to this space. So I'm going to press Command Z to undo, and something I can change about my fill tool, my paint bucket, is that if I hold down on that little circle down at the bottom, I can choose that I want to close gaps. So if there's gaps in lines, it will close it automatically. So I'm going to say close medium gaps because that's not too huge of a gap. So see how it automatically just fills in my color there. It doesn't spill over into the other area. That's kind of a nice feature that Flash adds in. So I'm going to make the top and bottom red there. Maybe I'll choose more of an orangey kind of color to fill in the flame here. I could do the ends another color. Feel free to be a little creative with whatever you choose as far as your colors go for your own Spacecat. I'm going to make my cat itself kind of like a grayish blue, maybe. Kind of like this color. Yeah. That's cool. Okay, so actually, you know what? I think I wanted to make the helmet a grayish blue, but you know what? I could make the helmet gray instead, and then see how that works. Nice. So maybe I would take like even lighter tone of gray for the neckline. Alright, so we've got some color on them. Maybe I'll give them a pink. The other thing we can choose, if you don't want to color particularly from these, is you can choose this option in the upper right corner there, and that gives you the color picker. So now you can really get a big selection of what do you really want your color to be. You can make it any shade under the rainbow. So if I choose kind of a pinkish color, this is going to turn up. That's pretty good, kind of a salmon-y like color to give him on his nose. Alright, so, excuse me. The other space I'm noticing I'm going to miss is that little one by his belly. So maybe I'll take like another gray tone and kind of give him like a gray kind of belly area. Alright, so Spacecat right now is colored in, ready to go. I did miss this space on the rocket too, so actually you know what I'm going to do is fill that with another color, maybe like a lighter yellow shade. Cool. Alright, so now we got Spacecat filled. The next thing that we are going to get into is what we can do is add a background color. So really simply kind of just take your selection tool, click anywhere on your stage, and what you're going to notice is over here in your properties bars you have this stage color right here. So we can choose a background color to add behind Spacecat, and although it looks awesome just to have multiple colors, we're going to have to just stick with one. And so I'm going to go with kind of like this dark bluish kind of color because it's kind of like night, like space. So I'll take that, and the other thing I was going to add to this picture was a couple stars. And what we're going to use is, we've used the rectangle, or the oval tool rather, those make rectangles and ovals. The polystar tool has a little bit more to it. So we can make any kind of a polygon here, any size we want. If we go to our properties bar over on the right hand side and click on options, you get some options for your polygons. You can name the number of sides. So say you want to make a stop sign, you would want 8 sides. If you wanted to make more of a hexagon shape for like a honeycomb, you would choose 6. But we're not going to make a polygon. The other thing you have is the star, hence why it is called the polystar tool, right? Polystar. We can make polygons and stars. So number of sides or points to the star, and we'll say 5. I'm going to say 4, just to kind of switch it up, and then we can make these kind of star shapes Okay. Something you're going to notice is if we zoom in really close, that these shapes are going to have outlines, right? A stroke outline. I don't think I want that stroke outline, so I'm going to just take my arrow tool and click and drag to select this whole thing. You know it's selected when it's get those dots, and delete it. The thing I want to do is actually take my stroke color and turn it off. So no stroke color here, just kind of the yellowish color for the star. I'll take my polystar tool again, and I am going to make a few star shapes. So maybe we'll have one here, and just kind of scatter them throughout. A couple big ones, a couple small ones. Maybe have a couple go off the edge of the page. It's actually a nice kind of thing to do to make a little more realistic of a space. Alright, so we got a couple stars in there, and Spacecat is nice and colored and ready to go. So I hope you have lots of luck with your own, and that you use some creativity in your use of color and stars, and maybe even add some planets or other things flying through your scene.